Perhaps that's also why I was never really briefed on how confidential funds were being operationalized, on how, perhaps that's why even when I came in as Chief of Staff, I was not made STO or signatory or anything. The only time I can honestly say that I encountered looking into the reports of confidential funds was when we were already issued an AOM. And at that time, I was also not just Chief of Staff, but I was OIC Finance. And so it was within my purview to address and respond to the AOM. I know it is very hard to maybe fathom or imagine na bakit hindi mo alam tong mga ganito. But I think anyone in DepEd, and my DepEd family is here, they would know how compartmentalized we were at that time. In fact, coming into these congressional hearings, and to be very honest with you, sir, Mr. Chair, kung pwede ko lang sagutin yung confidential funds, Your Honor, gusto ko na sagutin. Kasi I've been defending DepEd since day one as the spokesperson in July 2022. So to be honest, if I could just defend DepEd now, defend the Vice President even, I would. But that's why I came here. When they ask me anything, minsan sabihin pa nga sa akin, why did you admit, why did you? But that's the truth. And I just want to be here and tell the truth. Ngayon, pag hindi ko talaga alam, I would say hindi ko talaga alam. And
okay,
sorry for the long.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Let me ask Ms. Catalan. Ms. Catalan, when this sobre, when these envelopes were given to you, was it? Did you also? Was it? Were you made also understand that this is done in secretly, or is just magandang ano lang? It's a regular binibigay lang na parang allowance lang, pang gift lang, or may impression ba na wag mong sabihin, sa'yo na muna ito, or ganon?
Wala po, Your Honor.
So, ibig sabihin, talagang hindi siya sinesekreto.
Basta, Your Honor, papatawag ka lang sa office.
Papatawag ka sa office, pero alam mo na hindi lang ikaw yung nakakatanggap.
I'm not aware, Your Honor.
But you are aware that there are also others who may also be receiving the same allowances, as you may call it.
Siguro nasa isip ko lang na I'm not the only one, pero I didn't bother to know kung sino pa, or I didn't, because I was discreet lang siya.
So discreet siya.
Opo.
So ibig sabihin, there was never any instance where ka-close mo sa opisina, nagsabi rin na, uy, naka-receive din ako ng the same.
Wala po, Your Honor.
So it was done secretly. Would you say so?
Discreet nga lang po siguro, kasi wala akong alam, Your Honor.
Okay, sige. So, ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, I'd like to, again, follow up your question. Gusto ko lang malaman, no? So, you said that your task really is being compartmentalized, that you have never any way of knowing that this, is that what you're trying to make this committee understand, that as a Chief of Staff, there was never any moment or any, like for example, any instance where there was really that information or knowledge? Kasi taken from the explanation of Ms. Catalan, allowance to, it's not something irregular. Parang ganun yung pagkaintindi niya eh. Hindi naman siya dapat sekreto or although discreetly binibigay sa kanya pero ang understanding niya is galing pala sa personal money ni Vice President. So hindi dapat siya sekreto. So are you telling this committee that in the span of your tenure as a Chief of Staff, you have never heard anybody, or at least with your co-workers, saying that there's an allowance from the good heart of the Vice President giving out for these employees?
Mr. Chair, if there was...
Please continue.
If there was an instance, Your Honor, that I would say maybe pumasok sa utak ko na may nabigyan, it was probably nung 2022 December, because it was meant to be parang a Christmas, no?
Yeah, but that's already, sabi ni Ms. Catalan, that's regular bonuses. But we're talking about these,
But throughout the envelopes, I can honestly say walang ibang USEC or Ms. Runa. I can honestly say I just found out today also. So walang ganyang usapan eh. Hindi nagkakaroon ng Walang lumapit sa akin na nagtanong man lang kung ako ba may natanggap or them narrating to me na sila may natanggap sila. To be perfectly honest with you, wala talaga akong narinig eh.
Because as a chief of staff, it's to me, as a chief of staff, because you're appointed as a chief, so big sabihin, trust and confidence is everything, di ba? Kasi ikaw, before it reaches your principal, everything should be, everything should be a course through as a chief of staff through you, no? It's for me personally, Mr. Chair, I find it very hard to understand. Although I'm not trying to debunk your statement here, Attorney Pua, but to me, we all are government employees, and we know how the administrative processes have been going. So, it's for me personally, I think it's kind of difficult for you not to be able to understand and at least have a grasp on what is happening inside your office, knowing that you are not only the chief of staff, but you're also the spokesperson for the Department of Education, Mr. Chair. And though you may not know, but a lot of your co-workers in the department, co-employees in the department have already come out saying the same thing. But if we use the same argument or the statement of Ms. Catalan na discrete pinamimigay, ilan yung lumabas na? Ibig sabihin, kung 4 na ba sila, Mr. Chair, o 5? 4 yung lumabas na same testimony saying that they have received envelopes. Ibig sabihin, kung discreetly, kung the same manner of releasing, ibig sabihin, there's no way for them to really make up some stories. But they came out with the same narrative and the same stories. Yun lang yung gusto kong ipaintindi, no, Mr. Chair. Do you have what's your thought on that?
Mr. Chair, may I respond? I respect your view, sir. Like I mentioned earlier, Mr. Chair and Honorable Congressman, if I were in your shoes, I would also find it hard to believe, hindi ba? And that's why I had to put it in context, no? I did not know the Vice President till the day I was hired as her spokesperson in July. I wasn't with her prior. So perhaps there are things that's why I said it was compartmentalized. Perhaps there were things that are not shared with everyone, are not shared with me, are shared with me, but are not shared with others either. Perhaps that's the only way I can even fathom it, no? But definitely operationally, which means policy, which means whatever happens in DepEd, I can honestly say that really goes through me. But on why they are naming ASEC Sunshine as the one giving the envelope, I really do not know. And even if you were to ask me now, I wouldn't even dare ask.
What's the task of Attorney Sunshine pala, if I may ask?
As far as I know, she was the head EA even before I joined DepEd, Your Honor. So, in fact, she was the one who interviewed me when I applied for DepEd. And then my last interview was the Vice President, and that was the day that I met the Vice President for the first time, when I was offered the job of spokesperson. And I remained to be a spokesperson from July 2022 to around April 2023. So just to give you a background on all this, because I can definitely understand, Your Honor, the sentiments of the good congressman on parang medyo weird, no? Chief of staff ka, bakit di mo alam ang lahat ng nangyayari? In fact, it's a bit embarrassing for me to also admit na hindi ko alam lahat ng nangyayari. But it's really the way it is. Things are compartmentalized even from day one. So even as spokesperson, when may balita and I need to get to an interview, honestly, I have to message with the Vice President at that time to find out every time on what she wants me to say during the interview. At least just to give you a picture, Your Honor, on how it was.
Okay, thank you. Just I guess a manifestation in closing, Mr. Chair. Narinig naman natin ilan yung lumabas na po dito sa committee na the same yung kanilang sinabi, na nakareceive po sila ng envelopes, no? At hindi ho nila ma-explain kung saan lang gagaling itong mga envelopes na ito. May iba sinasabi gift, may isa sinasabi it's a form of persuasion, but whatever they call it, it's something irregular. It does not happen regularly, no? Pangalawa, Yung apat na po, kung tatanungin sa katanungan, sa kasagutan po ni Ms. Catalan, ang sabi po niya, tinatawagan po sila individually, binibigay sa kanila. I think the same story also we've heard from the rest of our invitees who said also the same thing. No? Ibig sabihin po, hindi nila na pinag-usapan itong apat na ito, hindi nila napag-usapan, meaning to say they've done it individually, binibigay sa kanila. So it's impossible for these individuals who came out saying the same thing to make up stories na pare-pareho po ang kanilang sinasabi. Ang point ko lang po dito, Mr. Chair, is if it's done discreetly, secretly, there's something really, the act really, in the giving out of these stories must be really in question, Mr. Chair. Yun lang pong aking manifestation, Mr. Chair, at marami pong salamat. Thank you, Attorney Puwa, for giving us a background.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.